You're welcome.
All right. Just to catch you up again, definitely new information just from coming in concerning a house fire that happened earlier this morning. Everyone inside that house fire is doing fine today, but as a result, this may be connected. We want to go live to Matt Fleener, who is out at the scene with another eyewitness. Matt.
Hi, Kate. Yeah, that's right. We have another eyewitness who is actually standing in that Home Depot parking lot that we were talking about a little bit earlier. And from what we know, that's about a mile away. Is that right? You were standing in is that the Home Depot parking lot where you were?
It wasn't actually. I was over in the World Market parking lot, so it was about the same angle, but not quite that spot.
Okay, and your name, ma'am?
Megan Riley.
Megan Riley. How do you spell that last name?
R-I-L-E-Y.
R-I-L-E-Y, is that right? Okay, great. Well, Megan, tell me what you saw this morning.
Yeah, well, a little bit before 10 o'clock, as I was saying, I was over there near the MOPAC in 183, and the plane came flying over from, it looked like pretty much straight from the east. It was kind of curving a little bit. Nothing. It looked like there wasn't anything wrong with it. It sounded like it was running fine. The engines weren't smoking or anything, but it was really low. Almost to the power lines, and it was clipping really, really sharply to the left. And honestly, we kind of thought it was somebody just messing around, flying too low, trying to scare their co-pilot or whatnot, until we heard the explosion. And we looked out over here, and the siding of this building had fallen down. So yeah.
Just describe for me what it had to be surreal.
It definitely was, because like I said, we thought it was just somebody joking around. We didn't think the plane was actually crashing when we saw it. And it was so low that it was kind of one of those things, like I didn't see the person, but it was close enough that you could have seen the guy in it. So
describe for me what you're feeling now as you see this.
It's very surreal. It seems like one of those things you see on TV, not something you actually see.
What are you thinking about for the people that are inside that building right now?
I've heard most of them are okay, but I mean, a plane just hit their building. That's ridiculous. And it's 10 o'clock in the morning on a weekday. There must have been tons of people in there.
And did you actually see the plane flying across 183? How low would you estimate that plane was?
I don't know. Well, like I said, when it was back there, which is what, half a mile something, it was already like. We were worried it was going to hit the trees over there. So, I mean, it was already coming in way too low. So, whatever was going on, it didn't get out of it.
So, maybe 20, 30 feet above the ground? What do you think?
I'd say where I saw it, at least, it was probably about 50.
Wow, okay.
But...
Okay. Is there anything else that you would like to say after seeing this morning?
I guess, sorry, the one thing I would like to say is that I know the fire department got here real fast because they actually had an engine sitting over there that just happened to be doing something with HAZMAT. So they were over here like right away.
Wow.
So I guess that's the one good thing.
Yeah. Well, Megan, thank you so much again. It's always great to have an eyewitness account, and unfortunately on a morning like this, but we thank you for your perspective this morning. Thank you, Megan. All right, Megan Riley this morning, who actually saw this plane come across, she said about 50 feet from the ground, an amazing perspective. If you're familiar with this area at all, you know where the Dave & Buster's is. Many people have seen that driving by on MOPAC. You know where the Dave & Buster's. She was in that parking lot, and she saw the plane fly from north to south. She didn't see it hit this building, in fact, but she saw the big explosion afterwards. Lots of people like that around here this morning. If you're not familiar, we also talked to a trained pilot who actually saw the plane actually hit the building. He said it was a Cherokee 140. He's actually flown that exact plane before. He was visibly shaken and shaking this morning after seeing that amazing sight. Just an amazing sight this morning. And
it shot right across the road. It was going really fast. Those aren't fast airplanes. They cruise about 115. And it sounded like the engine was on full blast. Of course, I can't testify to that,
right.
But it sure was hauling.
Oh man!
It was a really speedy dive, and it whacked into between the first and second floor of Echelon 3.
Can you show me exactly where? Can you show our viewers exactly where you believe that plane hit?
See the white smoke?
Yeah.
It's right there. It's that hole right dead center in the building, right smack it. See that stone wall, the retaining wall?
Yes.
It hit right above the retaining wall and shot in that building. A gigantic fireball came out, probably 50 feet wide, Then windows blew out. Then insulation flew out. Then those Venetian blinds were flapping everywhere. Then fire started.
What are you thinking about the people who were inside here?
My heart's still pounding. My jaw was dropped. I thought there must be dozens of people dead.
Wow.
I have no idea though.
Wow.
Pilot.
And that was my interview earlier with Jerry Cullen. He was a trained pilot. He was actually sitting over ready to get a cup of coffee in the Marie Callender's parking lot this morning when he saw that plane coming across, trying to figure out what exactly was happening. He said it almost hit one of the light poles that were in that parking lot, saw it smack dab into that building over there. He was obviously shaken this morning. And a little later on in our interview, he said that obviously this reminded him of the scenes that everybody saw in 9/11. We'll send it back to you.
And Matt, we're seeing smoke coming out from the building behind you. Is there still visible fire? Is it still pretty large? Can you describe that for us?
Yeah, Kate, I can't see any visible fire, but obviously if you've been to a fire scene, you know that smoke continues to billow for hours sometimes after this, after a scene like this, and this is probably going to be billowing even into later on this afternoon. You know, I have to show you this amazing sight. This is a retaining wall that is right along this building. It's holding this echelon building up. This retaining wall has actually collapsed, and you can see what looks like a waterfall, just a waterfall of water coming down, all of the water that's been poured into this building today, and just above that dirt you can see what we believe to be a part of the plane. We don't know exactly what part of the plane, but we believe that this Cherokee 140 is right there. That's exactly where impact happened, on the first floor, right above this retaining wall. Obviously, the structural integrity of this building has to be something that folks are really worried about right now, trying to figure out how they actually can keep this building standing. We're unsure whether or not this building is safe to even keep standing. You know, we can see the folks that are around it. They're keeping a distance actually away from this building, trying to make sure that it's not going to fall. Obviously, it hasn't all fallen down yet, but lots of pieces of this building have fallen out from this fire and this impact this morning.
All right, Matt Fleener with the latest, and we can tell you that we are getting word that Homeland Security is taking a look at this and, as you can imagine, investigating every aspect. They say as of now there is no connection to any terroristic or criminal activity, but they're deferring questions to the FAA.
And we're also hearing from officials that the pilot may have possibly set his home on fire before, and some officials are saying that he intentionally then crashed the plane into this building. We received information from the FAA that the plane departed from the Georgetown airport about 9:40 this morning. It was a Cirrus SR-22 plane, and that the pilot did not file a flight plan, because you do not have to file one for this type of flight, because it's a visual flight rules, meaning it's daytime, it's clear outside, so he did not have to file a flight plan of where he was going. And as a result, though, we do understand that's the plane you're looking at right there, what it could possibly have looked like, the one that flew into the Echelon building. David Scott has been live out at the scene where the house fire was.